Colorado's on fire. The rest of the West burns alongside us.
And it's just glowing orange.
Ash is raining down on Colorado's cities. Smoke and haze are making it hard to breathe. Clouds of smoke are the new skyline.
This is the new kind of normal.
Tonight, Denver7 brings you 360 perspective. Is 2020's fire season a historically strong outlier? Or is it a warning that wildfires will become more destructive and more deadly in the years to come?
2020 will go down as the year of two of the four largest wildfires in Colorado history. The Cameron Peak Fire and the Pine Gulch Fire burning simultaneously. The amount of land scorched in Colorado is almost 300,000 acres, larger than several countries, including Malta and Barbados. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Jessica Porter, filling in for Ann Trujillo.
And I'm Shannon Ogden. Glad you're here tonight. And as bad as it's been this year, most experts believe conditions could get worse in the years to come.
Tonight, Denver7 brings you a 360 team coverage of the changing climate and the effect it's having on our wildfires. We begin with Russell Haythorne. Good evening, Russell.
Yeah, good evening, Jessica. This cold weather giving us some relief from the heat and the smoke here in Colorado, but further out west in California and Oregon, no such luck. And experts say these wildfires are becoming more fierce and more frequent.
You can smell it. It's just horrible.
Wildfires here in Colorado and throughout the West paint the skies in shocking shades of blood red and bright orange.
It's just glowing orange.
A relentless and unprecedented wildfire season that experts warn could be a sign of things to come.
We expect things to get worse.
Let's start this 360 with Walid Abdelhadi. The former chief scientist of NASA says rising global temperatures and drought in many western states are drying out the forests.
Sort of made them kindling. The pump is primed now for more fires, bigger fires, more intensely burning fires.
Fires already are demonstrating that they are becoming more frequent, more intense.
Researcher Gregory Simon says in many western U.S. states, there is no longer a wildfire season. They are a continual risk year-round.
The frequency of them, the size of them, the intensity of them, and the way in which they can occur all year long. This is the new kind of normal.
Just ask lifelong Colorado resident Carrie Globinski.
Worse than I've ever seen.
She and others capturing apocalyptic images like these of the fires in Colorado earlier this week.
These fires are creating storms within themselves, and that's what's igniting and exploding and making it bigger. Amazing the destruction that it's doing.
And that's what worries experts about the future.
The extremes that we're seeing will likely be even more so. I won't say more violent and more dramatic, but more frequent occurrence. There needs to be an effort to prepare for and understand what's coming.
These worsening wildfires have been documented for decades. Denver7 Chief Meteorologist Mike Nilsson with more on that tonight.
Our world is getting warmer, and the reason is the increase in carbon dioxide in the atmosphere from the burning of coal, oil, and natural gas during the past 200 years. Each molecule of CO2 acts like a feather in a down comforter, trapping heat that would otherwise escape into outer space, causing the planet to get warmer. So we're seeing it in more 95-plus degree days here in the Denver area. We're seeing it in hotter fires across the West. Hotter, drier equals more big fires. We're seeing more of the smoke wave, the intensely smoky days, and this is going to have an impact on our climate as making it worse as we go farther into the future. And in the Arctic, this is sea ice from satellite back in 1979. Ice reflects the heat back into space, but now the ice is really melted. That's absorbing the sunlight energy, warming the Arctic. That impacts Colorado weather because it changes the path of the jet stream and makes the jet stream, instead of being rather quick moving, it's slower and more meandering, and that can increase heat waves, severe storms, and even cold waves. So what we're going to see is stronger and longer as far as extreme weather events in Colorado.
Thank you, Mike. The death toll from the western wildfires rose again tonight. Northern California officials say 7 more bodies were found today. In total, 15 people have died across the West Coast. And in Oregon, 500,000 people are under some sort of wildfire evacuation tonight. That is 10% of the state.
And despite the science, there are the fair share of skeptics out there. In fact, in 2018, President Trump called global warming a hoax and, quote, a money-making industry.
Other conservatives say global warming is not causing these wildfires, pointing out that many fires are started by human activity or weather. We spoke to former state Senator Greg Brophy about the issue last year. He did not deny global warming exists, but he said the idea of eliminating carbon emissions is a pipe dream.
And you want me to take you seriously? Why don't you start advocating for some things that will actually work, like building nuclear power plants, which have zero carbon footprint?
And many private companies are not waiting for the government to take the lead on climate change. They're taking action themselves. Xcel Energy, one of them. That company is hoping all of its energy will be clean energy within the next 30 years. They've already taken a couple of fossil fuel burning plants offline in Colorado as they work toward that clean energy goal.
It's a very big deal. It's, you know, again, our customers expect us to provide affordable, reliable energy, but they're asking us to reduce emissions. We are a major source of emissions, and therefore there's a lot of focus on us to reduce those emissions.
And it goes beyond Xcel. Some of America's largest companies, including Nike, Walmart, Starbucks, have all promised to transition to 100% renewable energy. And our 360 reporting on climate change dates back to 2018. We will continue to lead the way on this issue. We want you to please join the conversation. 360 at thedenverchannel.com.
265 new cases of coronavirus were reported in our state today. Currently, 240 beds are being used by coronavirus patients here in Colorado, and there are still more than 10,000 beds available. And while Governor Polis has not announced whether he will extend a statewide mask mandate past Sunday when it expires, we know the town of Golden will require masks through at least October 9th. Their mask mandate was set to expire tonight, and Golden City Council extended it via unanimous vote.
The Kappa Sigma fraternity at CSU is dealing now with its second COVID outbreak since July. School officials say out of the 20 people who live in the Kappa Sigma building, 12 tested positive for COVID-19, and then another 5 are thought to be positive because they have symptoms, but so far have tested negative. CSU says contact tracing was done to try to identify all the students who were exposed, and they have been notified and are now quarantined. Well, just after 8 o'clock tonight, the Greeley-Evans School District announced more than 100 students across 6 schools are placed on quarantine effective through September 24th. They also announced they have switched 2 entire schools to remote learning, Madison Elementary and Billy Martinez Elementary, and we'll post full details on the free Denver7 app. Well, our mental health is suffering, no doubt, because of COVID. The CDC says, listen to this, 2 out of 5 Americans were dealing with mental health issues or substance abuse at the end of June. And the Colorado Crisis Hotline saw record-breaking call volume and text volume over the summer.
Denver7's Adi Guajardo spoke to the one woman who knows the devastating toll anxiety and depression can take, and who is working to raise awareness through her pain.
Memories can feel distant, at times a blur, but like a stream brimming with water.
This is Jeremy.
The feelings and moments come rushing back.
It was like this cosmic connection, like his spirit and my spirit just knew each other and saw each other.
Christine Magnum met Jeremy when she was 19 years old.
I love his smile in that photo.
He was shy, gentle, and smart. And on a hidden beach, their love unraveled.
Our first kiss, first I love you, we got engaged there.
Milestones that turned dark as Jeremy spiraled into depression and threatened to end the pain and suffering.
I was scared. I felt like if I did nothing, I could lose him. And if I did something, I would.
When Christine's calls went unanswered, her intuition guided her to their favorite beach.
Just the first glimpse, I knew he was already gone. My life, my world just stopped. And everything was shattered.
Christine now works as a mental health counselor and helped launch the Boulder Skyline Traverse Challenge, a 17-mile hike to raise suicide awareness.
Because depression is hard and suicide is hard.
Money raised will help increase resources.
Educating the public on, signs and symptoms, and then how to react, how to have that conversation.
When the days feel dark and lonely, Christine wants people to know there's hope.
Even when you don't love yourself, there are so many people who do love you, who see your strength and your beauty and your worth, even when you don't.
Adi Guajardo, Denver7.
The Boulder Skyline Traverse Challenge is happening this Saturday, and if you would like to help out in some way, visit thedenverchannel.com for details. If you or anyone you know needs to talk to somebody, the Colorado Crisis Service Hotline is available 24/7. That number, 1-844-493-8255.